Welcome to A Good Life with Soul Haven, presented by Chris Gregg, Samuel Yisrael, and Natasha, the loving chef.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Good Life at Soul Haven, and we have a special guest with us today for the first time, joining myself and Natasha. We have John. Hello, John. Hi. So, explain yourself, John. What brings you to the Soul Haven podcast?
I'm going to be talking about my journey at Soul Haven, which started about 5 years ago, and how I've changed, hopefully.
Looking forward to that. And also, we're going to be going through Permaculture principle number 12, which is all about creatively using and responding to change and learning how to deal with change and building skills to enable us to adapt to different situations. And we're going to have another amazing recipe from the loving chef, which is a very nice warming winter soup, which will be very nice because it's been a little bit chilly. If you've been out on fireworks nights and Halloween and stuff, you'll know that the evenings are drawing in. It's starting to get nice and cold, so you can warm yourself up with some cozy food if you need to. So let's get started. Introduce us to Soul Haven.
Thank you, Chris, and it's really good to be back with you again. It seems like ages since we've been together, but the time flies so very fast. So, Soul Haven, what is it? What are we? We're based in Moulton, just outside Northampton. Soul Haven is an award-winning community centre committed to building sustainable people. We believe that sustainability isn't just about the planet, but it's also about the people, and it's also a very deep personal journey as well. Our sole mission is very, very simple: to share practical tools, resources and experiences that help people reconnect with themselves and with the nature within to empower them to become sustainable, happier and healthier.
Which is fantastic. And people that come and experience what you do at Soul Haven leave very much refreshed and rejuvenated, but also feeling a lot more in touch with nature and the natural world, which is so important. So one of the things that you teach at Soul Haven is your permaculture principles, and that's all about how you can use the principles of nature to apply to how we live our lives. And we've been going through these every time on the podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, then I recommend starting at number 1, because it is good to begin at the beginning. Although it's good to listen as the year kind of unfolds to hear stuff that's relevant to the different seasons that we're in. But we're up to Permaculture principle number 12. So talk us through that one, please.
And I'm really quite excited to be sharing this actually, because it goes hand in hand with John and his journey that he's going to share today as well. So yeah, I thought it was very apt to invite John to join us. So permaculture number 12 is all about creativity, use and respond to change, learning to deal with change and building skills to enable us to adapt to the situations that we're in. The only constant is change. There is nothing else in the world. If we don't change and if we don't adapt, then we stay very stuck in where we are. So yes, the butterfly is the image for permaculture number 12. So it's all very interesting how we transform and move forward. So yes, but if we don't embrace change, then we stay the same, or we fight the change. If we're not adaptable, then we're not in the flow, our own personal flow, and then we're not in our own flow of the nature that's inside ourselves as well. And this, of course, wastes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and we become to be, I like to call it, Chris, the monkey mind of things and the emotional turmoil if we're fighting against something rather than going forward and actually embracing it and flowing like water. So this can also affect our own mental health state as well. So yes, so the butterfly serves as a symbol representing the transformative power and the adaptability in nature. Like I've said, the only constant is change, and it emphasises the necessity of embracing and responding creativity to shifting different circumstances.
You know, my children are big fans of butterflies, because one of their favourite books is A Hungry Caterpillar, because that tells the story of the transformation that the butterfly, I mean, if you look at a caterpillar and a butterfly, you would never guess that it's the same creature. But what goes on in that cocoon is a mystery to everybody. I don't think anybody knows how it does it, but it comes out as this beautiful butterfly. And that, I think there's no better example in nature of transformative change.
Yeah. And it is very true. You know, none of us know what goes on in that little catalyst and how it turns from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And the life cycle of the butterfly is very short and sweet. But it's amazing to actually watch one come out of its little cocoon and spread its wings for the first time, and it's excited and new and a little bit apprehensive about what the world is right now. So yes, caterpillars, butterflies, transformation is all about what we do as humans and individuals, but also what works out in the garden as well. And the principle highlights the significance of adaptability, innovation, and crafting resilient and sustainable systems within ourselves as well. Yes. So
Yes,
by
tell me more.
telling you more, there's lots more to tell about. This is one of my most favourite principles of all the permaculture principles, actually. It really does resonate with me quite a lot. So yes, so out in the garden, obviously, or out in nature in itself, by observing alterations in the climate, the soil health, or the community requirements, we can harness these insights to inform our actions and our enhances. So each transformation, whether we're adjusting to methods to accommodate new weather or trends, or adapting new technologies even. You know, I've got an 87-year-old father, God bless him, who's just got his first smartphone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 87, God bless him, and I love him to bits, and he comes from an engineering background, but he's really struggling to adapt to a smartphone rather than one of those old flip-up phones that we used to get, and you have to press like 1, 2, 3, 4 to get the C's or the D's and the numbers. So yes, so with his transformation, he's struggling a little bit, but we're finding ways to adapt with that, and how we can actually help him, bring him into the century that we live in now with technology and how fast it's growing and things. Yeah. Bless him.
Yeah, we're a quarter of the way through this century, so I think it's time for him to join the rest of the world, maybe. So how can permaculture principle number 12 be applied for people care?
So people care, that's a really great question. So people care, recognising the ways which change is in your personal life. Like, how do you cope with your stress levels? What is it about your relationships and your daily routines? And how does the new things that come in actually affect your mental well-being? You know, paying attention to the various coping strategies that we've learnt, but also, are we able to modify the strategies so we can adapt to different situations that we're in, so we're not rigid in the box? We can actually start easing and gracing, flowing a little bit of a different way. So yeah, another way for mental health and people care, exploring initiative. Oh my gosh. Exploring different strategies to adapt and change with these changes. Consider integrating new things into your relaxation methods. I know John does a lot of meditation. I do a lot of meditation, but we can adapt which way we do the meditations along the way. We can modify our daily routine. Obviously now with the winter coming and we've got a lot less sunshine, do we get affected with the lack of sunshine? And how can we bring the sunshine into our worlds different ways, whether that's through I call them happy lamps, sun lamps and things, or do we actually embrace it's going to be dark for a little while? So yeah, we can discover new hobbies. You know, if we're tucked up inside the house where it's all nice and warm, can we create a different hobby? Can we cross stitch? Michaela, our occupational therapist, she's just taken up crocheting, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I bake, obviously, as my hobby as well as other things that I do. But how can we adapt so self-care routines can adapt and change within the cycles of nature?
That's fantastic. And of course, there's so many different ways that applying that principle can help people, not just with their stress levels, their relationships, their mental well-being, but just all different aspects of your life. And that's the wonderful thing about what you teach over there at Soul Haven. So if you'd like to have a kind of like a personal tailoring of those principles to your life, then obviously get in touch with the team and they will guide you through it. But that was brilliant. Thank you very much, Natasha. So I think it's time to shine the spotlight on John. So welcome, John, podcast newbie. And I'm very interested to hear about your sort of journey and how things started off for you, because you've been involved with Soul Haven for about 5 years, haven't you? How did it all get started?
Yeah, that's right. I started 5 years ago after I'd been working in a corporate business for about 11 years, and I walked out basically. I'd had enough, burnt out, completely demoralised, didn't know what I was or who I was. And a friend suggested volunteering at Soul Haven to give it a go, see what happens. Turned up, met the lovely Natasha.
Didn't you?
Yeah. And there was a guy called Jeff working here as well. And they said, just come along and do a bit of volunteering in the garden and see how you get on. And it was strange because I was so used to working in a corporate world where you had to do everything right. Everything had to be done the right way, the way they wanted it. And I came here and everything was like, doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong, just give it a go. And it threw me for ages. But it was amazing.
Yeah, I remember coming in and going, well, when is lunch break and what time and how do I need to do this and what time do I need to do that by and what are my targets? And
it took me a couple of years to get used to it. Actually, there's no right or wrong. Just like nature, we just plant and throw it in and see what happens.
Amazing. So you were pretty much burnt out with your corporate role, and then thought this is going to be a complete change of pace.
Yes.
And that must have taken a little bit of getting used to start with before you could like properly start to unwind.
Very much so. Even now, I still struggle sometimes. I'm like, oh, it has to be done this way, it has to be done that way. And yeah, even now, sometimes I'm quite controlling. I like to be in control. And it's learning not to be in control, because we're not in control of nature or anything.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
So, had you done much gardening before you got to Soul Haven? Did you come with a set of skills, or were you thrown into the deep end?
Not gardening. I've learned a lot of gardening skills now, but no, I just knew what you bought from the garden centre, and you just plonked it in the ground and hope for the best. But Jeff was brilliant. He was like a father figure to me, actually, which I never had. He used to just keep saying, just give it a go and see what happens. And I've been doing all sorts. I've built hotbeds, I've dug paths, manuring, all sorts of things I'd never done, never come out of my comfort zone and try anything like that.
Yeah, so like good, healthy, hard work.
Yes.
I guess in all different weathers, all different seasons, just getting out there in the garden and getting stuck in.
Rain, snow, you name it, we were out there. It's nice.
You've had to buy long johns, haven't you?
Yes, I have I don't have my long johns on today, thankfully, but
that couldn't be more different than sitting behind a computer in an office all day and just being out there, experiencing fresh air and just kind of getting back in touch with nature again. Must have felt really nice.
It is. It is very nice, but again, it's coming out your comfort zone, isn't it? And pushing through your comfort zone. And then actually seeing that it's okay, you'll be okay, and you can get through it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I think you need somebody there to guide you through the process, don't you? So it sounds like Jeff was a great kind of guiding light to help you kind of understand what to do. If you'd never done that sort of thing before, you wouldn't know where to start, would you?
No. Yeah, he was brilliant. He was. Yeah, I'd definitely say Jeff was like the father figure I never had. Yeah, very good.
He taught you lots and lots of different things, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously during that the last 5 years, we all went through that huge turmoil and kind of worlds being turned upside down during COVID. And how did that affect what you were doing with Soul Haven?
So I didn't just come in the October, and I think the lockdown was March.
Following year, wasn't it? Yeah,
Following year. And thankfully, Natasha was working at the Hope Centre at the time, and she was doing food parcels for the homeless. So she used to have me come up and help with the food parcels, create the food parcels, take them down the Hope Centre. It was, and that sort of gave me a bit more purpose, actually, doing things for other people, and seeing the rewards afterwards. It was just good. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing that. That gave me sort of a sense of fulfillment again.
Got me in the kitchen.
Got me in the kitchen.
Yeah. Put a penny on you, didn't we?
Put a penny on me. Yeah. And that led me on to when we lockdown was over, Natasha started doing monthly vegan pop-ups. And she said, why didn't you come along and help in the kitchen? And I came and helped you in the kitchen, which I love. I love doing things. I have to be always doing. If I'm not doing, I'm not happy. But I was washing up, serving, all sorts actually, wasn't I?
Cooking. Stirring. Stir this whilst I do that.
Yeah, it was great.
Was that again something that you hadn't done much of before,
No, I'd never
just
dare.
getting shown what to do?
Yeah, no, I never dare. I've never, any places I've worked, I've never felt able to try and push myself a bit further. But when I came to Soul Haven, I think it was a lack of, there was no you must do. It's always been gentle encouragement. You can do it, but we're not going to make you do it if you don't want to do it. And for some reason that worked for me. It was like, well, okay, I'll give it a go. Whereas before in other jobs, I always felt I had to do it, and then I didn't want to do it, and fear of getting away. But here it's just that gentle encouragement.
So you're doing it for yourself, not because you're getting told to do it. Yeah, that makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So then you got involved with the Ploughing the Mind course?
Yeah, we got the funding for Ploughing the Mind, and Natasha was like, do you want to do a bit of admin work?
So I do like to push people out of comfort zones, gently nurture them into a different role.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, that worked with all my skills I've had from other jobs anyway. So I do all the admin now for Ploughing the Mind, get all the clients on board. I've learned how to do web pages, all sorts. We've made a book, haven't we? Done books.
Yes, we've created books.
Created books. All things.
So that was also stretching yourself. So that wasn't the kind of stuff that you were doing in your previous role with computers.
No.
It was a bit more creative.
Much more creative, yeah. But they're all brilliant stuff. I've done so much here; it's unbelievable, really.
It sounds like they're getting the best out of you. Just gardening, cooking, designing websites.
I'm jack of many trades, is what we say.
Yeah, and now podcasting as well.
And this is out of my comfort zone as well. So.
Yeah, that's great. So I guess you really enjoy doing it, and it's kind of evolved into something that is a big part of your life, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, and he really is a true example of how to adapt. So going back to the permaculture principle we were talking about earlier, John really is the final example of how to adapt out of the comfort zones and challenging and being put in different situations rather than running away from it, but actually embracing it, knowing that he's got the support backbone behind him, and the feeling of not actually, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We just adapt and become more observant of what can be done better, what can we do better. So yeah.
And how do you feel you've sort of grown as a person from the experience?
I'm much more myself, to be honest. So the good thing here is that you're allowed to be yourself. And the guys here, all the team, have seen me in many states, and I'm moody, happy, angry, snot and tears.
Snot and tears. We do snot and tears, don't we?
and they never changed towards me. They still like me, which is, I suppose, before I never dared do that sort of place of work before anyway. But
it doesn't really work when you've got a serious office job to be bawling your eyes out of the computer.
No, it doesn't really. And people just
even though I think a lot of people probably feel like that a lot of the time when they're sat in an office mindlessly tapping numbers into spreadsheets, and you just start questioning your life choices at that kind of point, don't you? So you just really be yourself and just be a human.
It can be. I mean, there have been times when I've wanted to run. I'm a runner, and there have been times when I've wanted to run. You said, "No way, you're not running."
Hold on tight.
Hold on tight.
Yeah,
and it's just magical, really. You just sort of get propelled forward, a bit like the caterpillar in the cocoon, really, and then trying to push your way out. It is very much like that. Yeah.
And also that caterpillar eats a lot of cake before he goes into his cocoon. So I guess
we do
that as well.
We get a lot of cake.
He has a very, very happy existence as a caterpillar. He does get a tummy ache. So while you've been there, you've obviously been fortunate enough to be able to do the Ploughing the Mind course. I think you've done it a couple of times. Yeah, and you've learned lots of things about yourself through going through that.
And I would recommend anyone who does it once come back and do it again, because you do learn so much more, and you tend to go a little bit deeper the second time you go. But it's a brilliant course as well. It just gets you to thinking how we behave and our patterns, to be honest, which we're not usually aware of, and people don't usually say anything, do they? But here they do sort of say, well, have you thought about, is this your pattern of you, or is it anybody else? So
and it's given you strategies to cope when you're kind of falling back into some of those old patterns as well.
Yes, definitely.
That's good. And what would you say is the big thing that you've learnt from this?
I can face my fears, and if I put my big boy pants on, I can go out there, I can handle anything. But I have to put my big boy pants on first to do it. But we can do anything if we got the encouragement behind us. I think we all got the power to do anything. It's just pushing through that fear.
Yeah. I mean, it's just making me think about my toilet training journey with my little boy. I don't think he's quite ready for big boy pants, but hopefully you're fully toilet trained now. So that's good news. I think you'll be safe in the big boy pants. So as a sort of a closing thought, what would you say Soulhaven has helped you with?
Just coming to terms with me, actually, and allowing myself to be me, and learning that it is okay to be me. I always thought I was a very bad person, but I'm not a bad person. I may be a bit confused, and I may say things and do things which are not deemed as right, but I'm actually okay. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm getting to like myself. I wouldn't say I love myself yet. I've got a bit more work to do, but I like myself, whereas before I hated myself, and I don't now. So I guess that's what I've learned.
I think it's such a skill to be able to accept your flaws and not kind of feel, not hate yourself, like you say, if you just because you have bad tempers sometimes, or sometimes say things that you regret. But that's just it. It's the same for everybody. It's just being human, isn't it? And it's just accepting yourself and not dwelling on your negative aspects and appreciating the things that make you a good person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's about accepting as well as our imperfections as well, rather than trying to be perfect all the time. Actually, we do have flaws, we do have imperfections. Let's embrace it rather than fight against it. If we're always fighting against it, it goes back to again what we were saying earlier about it's a struggle. Whereas actually, this is it. This is me. I accept me as a full person and embrace and go forth.
And I think it's the journey, isn't it? And if there's things about yourself that you're not happy with, then it's better to think about what's causing it and to fix those than just feel bad about yourself that things have happened. That's not going to solve anything. It's better to just kind of think a bit more deeply and try and work out what's causing those behaviours that you can then do something about.
Yeah, rather than looking on the outside and thinking it's something of somebody else or someone that is, it's looking inside and saying, actually, is it me? am I, is it me out causing the problem, or someone else causing the problem? Usually there is no problem. We just think there's problems.
Yeah.
The power of our mind is exceptional, of how we can create something out of nothing and explode it into a great big volcano and build it up and another explosion of a volcano another way. Whereas actually, if we just embrace who we are, what we want to say, what we want to do, and be our true authentic self, with our warts and all, then it's a lot easier journey for us to travel on as an individual on our personal journey.
Brilliant. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, John. That's really, I think, inspiring, because for me, it just shows how you can really turn your life around, and whatever stage you're at in life, don't feel like that's all you can ever do or all you can ever be, just because, if you're not happy with how things are going, sometimes it's very hard to change things of your own accord. And sometimes when you lose your job or your life changes, that's when the opportunity comes to kind of make a big change. Yeah. It's a lot harder to kind of, just turn things around because you're not satisfied with how things are. So it's a really inspiring story. Okay, I think it's time to talk food. So luckily we have a loving chef with us, and we need something nice and cozy and warming for these cold winter evenings where it's getting dark really early now, isn't it? So
it is,
we need
isn't
to
it?
warm ourselves up.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a really good recipe, a really simple recipe that you don't actually have to stick to the recipe with, but it's an idea of a creation. So as the days go colder, our body naturally craves the warmth to go forth. So so black bean and quinoa soup. Let me just talk a moment about quinoa. Quinoa is a really good source of protein. And of course, we all need protein to keep our bodies nurtured along the way. And obviously, being a vegan, I use quinoa quite a lot as a source of protein. It's low in carbs. It doesn't spike the blood sugars quite so much as rice or pasta or potatoes and things. So this is just a pop everything in a pan and wait for it to boil kind of thing. So yes. So
what actually, before you start this, what actually is quinoa? Is it grow on trees?
No, it grows on plants. Primarily not in the UK, but I know there is a quinoa farm being established in the UK at the moment. So it almost looks like dot leaves, and then the dot leaf seed comes out, or it goes to bolt, and then you've got these little tiny little grains. So you need a lot of plant for a little yield, and it's adapting towards the UK climate right now. But you can buy it in most supermarkets now, definitely down the world aisle. And it also sits in the pasta and the rice section as well. So it's quite easy to find. Whereas 5 years ago, when I said quinoa to shop assistants, it's like, well, what's that? It's like, I don't know.
But it's not going to be something that you can grow in your garden, though, is it? Because that sounds quite...
it's not something that we grow in the garden, no, just because of the yield of it. It takes a long time. And lots of space for one portion, so we don't bother. Because I use it so much in all sorts, savoury as well as sweet. I tend to buy it rather than grow it.
Cool.
So
what are we going to do with it?
We are going to put it into a soup with black beans as well. So black beans is also another source of protein. But this is a suggestion of a recipe. You don't have to keep it structured to this. Definitely onions, because onions are amazing. So you want 2 onions chopped, 2 medium sweet potatoes, peeled and chopped into little chunks. And our chunks being, as long as all the chunks are similar size, and have a think about what sort of size chunk of sweet potato you would like in your soup. That's the only kind of guidelines that I have on what sizes you cut it to. So medium sweet potatoes, onions, carrots, celery, We can have a bunch of kale in there just to get our greens in there. Now, I've got a tin of black beans in my recipe book, but if you haven't got black beans, then you can use white beans, white kidney beans, chickpeas, any kind of bean. That's absolutely fine. And then we want a combination of different seasonings. Garlic, an absolute must. Ginger, an absolute must. And turmeric is an absolute must, because those, like we shared last time, that's the warming essence and spices that will keep your fire fueled throughout the day. But you can also use parsley, basil, bay leaves, oregano, thyme, coriander, mustard. And mustard is another nice warming seasoning to put in there as well. And some stock. Now, whether you use stock cubes or make your own stock is entirely up to you. But you want to just literally, it's nice and easy, Chris. Even this is something that can be done. I was going to say it's nice and easy. You can even do it.
It's very true, though.
Yeah.
So you just chuck everything in the boiling water then, do you?
Yeah, just
This is what I would do.
literally chop it all up into equal sizes or similar sizes, apart from the kale, and then put everything else into your saucepan, cover it in your stock. Add your salt and pepper if you wish to, and cook it, simmer it for about an hour. And then you can add in your kale for the last 15 minutes and then serve it.
Okay.
And
So what happens if you put the kale in at the start? Does it just liquidize?
Yeah, it goes a bit limpy. And because kale is a very fresh, quick cooking vegetable compared to your root vegetables, you lose the nutritional side of things. So if you're making anything with sauces or soups and you've got your greens, your spinach, your kale, your pak choy, if you add them in last, you keep the vitamins and the minerals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this
and
sounds
they stay
yummy.
green. They stay green rather than this soggy brown leaf that goes on. So yeah.
And then how would you serve it?
Serve it with some nice warm crusty bread. Oh yes, yes. Is our favourite way of doing it. But it can be a whole meal, it can be a snack, it can be a lunchtime. You can put it in your thermos and keep it hot and take it to work with you. So yeah, it's very adaptable. And also you can batch cook it. It freezes really well. So what I tend to do is get my huge pot out and batch cook and then freeze and put maybe 8 to 10 portions in the freezer for myself and Samuel and for volunteers and things. So yeah.
So how would you turn it back into hot soup when it's a block of ice? How long does it take to warm it up?
I would take it out of the freezer. Now, if you are in a hurry, you can just literally pop it out of the Tupperware box and pop it into a saucepan with a little tiny dash of water on it, lid on there, and you want to gently heat it up. I run off electric at the moment, so electric number either 2 or 3, and let it gently thaw out. But if you know and you're well planned what you want to do for your dinners and your meals the following day, you can take it out of the freezer the night before, and then it takes 5 minutes just to reheat. So yeah. Something very good.
And you want to have it boiling before you serve it?
Oh yes, definitely make sure if it's frozen, have it boiling, or if you're reheating it, have it boiling. And of course, a little snippet here about reheating things. Only ever reheat things with beans in there or protein in there only the once. So you cook it, you can cool it, you freeze it, fridge it, and then reheat it. Don't keep reheating it. I remember my mother, God bless her, would make our soup for us, and it would sit on the stove top, and we would heat it up, cool it down, heat it up, cool it down, heat it up, cool it down, add lots and lots of other things to it. And we were quite resilient to that because that was the way we brought up, but I certainly wouldn't recommend anybody doing that. Nowadays.
It was a different time.
Different time and space. I'm showing my age here.
Yeah. But yeah, you shouldn't really leave it, even if you're going to eat it the next day, you shouldn't leave it out on the stove without refrigerating it.
Yeah, refrigerate as quickly as possible and for as long as possible. And then obviously it can stay in the refrigerator for maximum of 4 days. So we don't want to leave it in the refrigerator for 2 weeks, because that's not going to do any good for your digestive system with things. But yeah, 2, 3, 4 days max. If you haven't had it within 4 days, then pop it into the freezer, and then you can bring it out portion by portion.
So if you'd like to get your hands on this recipe, you've written a recipe book, haven't you?
I have. Yes, I have written. Well, we probably ended up writing the recipe book, definitely. I provided the recipes and the master here of creation and dedication and dedication. Yeah, and detail. Yeah, it was quite something. It was quite epic. And the resistance to do this recipe book, it only took me 2 years to do. But yes, so I have a little 31 recipes for the recipe book. Something very quick, very simple things that if you're starting to be plant-based or if you're starting to be vegan, these are my go-to basics with things and our journeys. So yes. But
yeah, and they're all tried and tested. Have you got photos in there of each one? So you've had
yes,
to
and if you
for
get
the book.
the soup, that would be quite interesting for you to see. There we go. So each recipe is on 2 pages. Yeah. And obviously the picture, the ingredients, the method, but there's also a QR code on each recipe. If you scan the QR code, that takes you to a video of me actually cooking the recipe. And in there I give hints and tips and or if you haven't got this in the pantry, you can use that, or if you're needing gluten-free, use this instead of that as well. So yeah, the videos are natural. Yeah, I was very shy of the camera at that time, Chris. Yes.
Oh, so it's not exactly Jamie Oliver.
Definitely not Jamie Oliver style, no. Natasha's own unique style, yes. But that's me. That's my true authentic self in my kitchen. Yeah, it was never anything prompted. It was never anything prepped 2-3 days. It was never edited video. But you do get the true me within each video along there. So yeah. And it's something just slightly different as a recipe book. What makes it unique? The YouTube videos.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like a great Christmas present because we're getting into that season now. So you can get this ordered. And then the great thing is you give it to somebody and they'll cook all the nice recipes for you. So you benefit.
Yeah, trial and test it. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. It's £20 a copy. And Amazon is really quick to print it. And yeah, it only takes 2 or 3 days once you've ordered it for you to receive it if you're on Prime. Not that I'm shouting about Amazon, but yeah, it's a very quick, easy stocking filler kind of present. If somebody is wanting to go into January and move into veganuary but have no idea what veganuary is or what veganism is or what plant-based food is and things. So yeah, we've got lots of different things in there. Things like basic mayonnaise, chocolate cake. Oh my gosh, we've got lemon drizzle cake, we've got dips, we've got risottos, we've got things like guacamole, breakfast items. Yeah, all sorts of different things. And then one of my favourite recipes, you all know me by now, I like my sweets. I like my desserts. Yeah. So somebody challenged me to make a baked lemon cheesecake that was refined sugar-free, gluten-free, and vegan. So you'll find the recipe in the book.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Lots of trialing and lots of goodies, lots of tasters in and around the kitchen. So yeah, definitely. But check it out.
Yeah, it's a tough job. I think I would like to apply for the role of helping with the recipe book. That sounds like a lot of...
Yeah. Feed me.
Brilliant. Well, I think because you're here with us, John, you should get involved with the next bit where we pick the cards to give us some inspiration for the next week. So if you could do the honours.
Are you going to pick a number? 1 to 72? Please don't say 72.
Oh, I can just pull one.
Are you going to just pull one? Okay, yeah, you just pull one.
Yeah.
That was a blank quote.
Oh, there you go. Timing.
You got the Joker.
On the camera.
Timing.
And I love these cards because look at the painting behind the word. It all connects. So yes, so timing. What does that mean to you, Chris?
It's the secret of great comedy. Timing. I think it's something that applies to everything, isn't it? It's about punctuality. It's about doing things in the right order, making sure that you're ready. And like we were talking before with John's story, just knowing when the time is right to make a change in your life and doing something that's going to make a difference. So it's all about timing. And I think sometimes there's no bad time to do something. It's more about just doing it. So don't procrastinate, just crack on and do the thing that you've been planning to do. So yeah, interesting one.
What's it mean to you?
Timing. I think timing, because I was so controlling before, timing is not rushing all the time, or it's just not being so timed, I guess, is my version to it. But actually, I don't need to do everything at a certain time, or I don't need to tick everything at a certain time. I can just let time flow naturally and see what happens. Easier said than done, I have to say.
Yeah, and timing is a really good thing for me because I get super busy and like to leave things to the last minute occasionally, most of the time. But also allowing nature's time. John just hinted on that. And there's our time as a human, there's our time, and it's got to be done in a structured sort of time, but actually there's nature's time, and bringing it back into the nature from within ourselves and allowing that time. When the time is right, things will come. When the time is right, things will get done. Not to use that as an excuse, but just to allow things to flow naturally. Yeah,
I think it's really important not to feel bound by expectations of getting stuff done, because that's like John was saying, that's part of the evil of the corporate world, is that whole pressure to do things and deadlines and getting stuff done, and it's not the natural way of doing things to have a strict deadline to submit a task. That you do stuff when it needs to be done, and you do it when you're ready to do it. So yeah, it's good to take your time sometimes. So what are we going to be talking about next time?
Oh gosh, we're going to be sharing about how to put your garden to bed ready to embrace winter, as that's very fastly approaching now. We're also going to talk about getting out of our comfort zones with permaculture principle number 11. Yes, and we all know about that now, don't we? Using edges and values, and the value of the marginal. Getting out of our comfort zones, what happens when we grow, and what happens, how we can stop the growth in ourselves because of certain emotions and things. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, Samuel will be back with us.
Yeah, some more rhythms and sounds to get us through. So yeah, always good fun when Samuel brings one of his many instruments for form. So yeah, that was a really, really interesting episode. Thank you so much for joining us, John, and hopefully we'll have you back on the podcast at some point again in the future. And
so you can do it again now you've done it the once.
Yeah, it's not a one-off. This is it now.
I felt my fear. I faced it now.
Yeah.
You've done brilliantly. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, guys. We're off to have some nice warming soup now, and we will see you next time on the next episode of A Good Life at Soul Haven. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with all your friends, and share the love. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for your help, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have been listening to A Good Life with Soul Haven. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast for the latest episode, and get in touch with the show if you have any questions or comments. For more details about Soul Haven, please visit slhavens.co.uk.